Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing great today. So our second lesson today is about the exponential rule. So exponential rules. So what is exponential? Is you have a base, let's say A is a base, it's called base. So this is called base. And we have something in here, whatever it is, can be 1, 2, 3, m, n, can be something here. So let's say m, for example. So the m, this is called exponent. So what's the purpose for us for having exponent or base? So I'll give you an example. So let's say you have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and so on. Eventually you're going to be bored. Because keep doing it and so on. So instead of being bored and keep writing it down every time, what we're gonna do, we're gonna have, remember, we have a base. So this is gonna be our base, which is a 2. So 2 is our base. Now we need to count. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's right. So 2 to the power of 6. So instead of being 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, we just do 2 to the power of 6, which will make ourselves simpler, easier. Is it easier to tell someone 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and so on? Or can tell them 2 to the power of 6? Okay, will be easier. Makes more sense. Okay? Remember, math is about, it's not just books, it's not just doing examples, it's about real world that we're living in, which is big numbers. So we need to know how to represent in a better way. Okay? So this is what we have. That's why we call exponent. So anything in the world, anything in the universe, we have rules. So in this case, it's called exponential rules. So the first thing that we have, first rule, is called product rule. What is product? Product is the multiplication of something with something. So you can say 2 times 2, for example. This is a product. 4 times 4, A times B is multiplication. So product, think of it as multiplication. So, for example, you have the same base. Remember, we have to have the same base. Okay, so A, m to the power of m, times another base, same base, A and A, and we'll have, in this case, we'll have an n, let's say. Okay? So, when we have a product rule, what do? So we take one base, so it will be A. Okay, what do we do with the exponent? That's right, we add them. So m, the first one, plus n. Remember when we were little kids, when we learned how to do multiplication, instead of saying 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is equal to 6, what did we do? We said 2 times, how many there are? 1, 2, 3. So addition goes with multiplication. Okay? It's called product rule. Product rule. Okay? The second rule that we have is called quotient rule. Quotient rule. It's called quotient rule. Okay? What is quotient rule? So product is multiplication. Quotient is a division. We're dividing something. So for example, we have the same base, a to the power of m divided by a, same base. So remember, you have to have the same base. Let's say n. Okay? Equal. So we take one base, it's the same base. So in this case, it is a. Now, m and n. So what do we do with m and n? It's our product goes with multiplication. So quotient goes with, that's right, subtraction. So it will be m minus my second power exponent, which is an n. So a to the power of m minus n. It's called quotient rule, which we're going to do lots of examples. For now, I need to know what's the theory of this one. Okay? It's called quotient rule. Okay? The third rule that we have is called power. So remember, power of another power. What does this mean? Power of a power means I have a power, exponent, and then I have another exponent. So power of power. For example, as an example, say a, same base, a, b, whatever it is, the base. Let's say the power of m, and then open bracket, close it, open, and close your bracket. Then you will have, let's say, n. Okay, so I have a power, and then I have another power. So when I have power, what should I do? Again, I'll have the base. So remember, product is multiplication. Power quotient is subtraction. Power of power, you multiply them. So it will be m times n. So m times n. That's right. So m times n. Okay? The other rule that we have is called power. Again, it's power. Now in this case, it's power of product. So what is product? Product is when you multiply. When you multiplication. So now we have power. What does it mean, power of product? So I give you an example. So let's say you have, okay, so power product means multiplication. So you have one base, let's say a. You have a second base, which is b. Okay, close the bracket. Now we have power. Let's say m. Okay, so a times b, which is two different bases, to the power of m. It's called power of product. So same thing as we did here. We took the base and then we multiply them together. In this case, I have multiplication, but I have two different base. So I'm going to write the different base I have. Now, pretend this is 1 and this is another 1. We don't write 1 because we know this is a 1. Okay? So m times 1 is m. m times 1 is another m. Okay? The other one's called power of, so I have a product Then the opposite will be quotient. That's right. So it'll be power of quotient. Power of quotient. So quotient means division. Okay. So what do we do? So A divided by B power of M. Okay. So equal. Again, same thing as we have did with the product rule, but in this case will be division. So it will be A to the power of M over B to the power of M. Okay? So write them down at the top here. So it's going to be A over B M. So A, the power of M divided by B to the power of M. It's called power of quotient. Okay? The other rule that we're going to discuss, the other rule is called zero exponential. What does this mean? So we know exponential means exponent. So I have exponent. Exponent of 0. That's right. So anything to the power of 0, whether A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Anything power to the 0 is equal to 1. That's right. It's very simple rule. Okay? It's called zero exponential. Other rule is called negative exponential. Exponential. Again, exponential means exponent. Negative. So I'm going to have a negative exponent. So for example, if I have a to the power of negative n, what do we do? So here we're thinking this is 1. Imaginary 1. Anything divided by 1 is anything. Right? So this is 1. Okay? So what do? We're going to flip them. We're going to flip it. This one here, and this one will be here. So 1 over a. Now instead of a negative n, it's going to be a positive n. So we're changing negative to a positive. So 1 over a to the power of n. It's called negative exponential. Negative exponential. Okay. The last rule that I have, and then we're going to do examples together. Okay, it's called functional. So fractional. So maybe I switch. It's called fractional. You have a fraction. Fractional rule. What does fractional mean? It's a fraction. So what's a fraction? You know what? 1 over 2 is a fraction. 3 over 4 is a fraction. X over Y is a fraction. A over B is a fraction. Okay, so we have a rule. What is this rule? So you have A, let's say. So your exponent, remember, we're dealing with exponent. So your exponent will be m over n. So your exponent is a fraction. Okay? So what do? It's going to be, we'll do that. So A is your base. What's the first letter at the top? Is M. So we're going to put M here. What do you have here? N. So N will be here. So N can be square, can be cube root, square root, and so on. So for example, if I have 1 over 2, let's say, so it's going to be, so A, this is power of 1, but we don't write the 1. 2 will be 2. That means the square root of A. Okay? So let's do examples. So these examples, I'm not going to tell you which rule, because we have to know. So that to solve exponential rules, what you need to know, put the rules in front of you, and then you see the question. Okay, which rule I'm gonna do, and then you see what it looks like. Does it look like this first rule, second rule, third rule, and so on. Okay. So when you know the rules, it will be easier to solve. Okay. So let's do example. So I have 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 5. So I ask myself, which rule is this one? Okay, this is the product rule. Why? Because it's multiplication. Same base. Now I have the same base. So I do 2. When I have a product rule, what should I do with the exponent? That's right, multiplication goes with the addition. So I'm going to add the exponent. That's right, so it'll be 3 plus 5, which is 2 to the power of 8. Okay? Second example. Okay? So let's say 2 to the power of 5 over 2 to the power of 3. Which rule is this one? That's right, this is the quotient rule. Why? Because we have division. Okay. What do we do with the quotient rule when we have the same base? We subtract the exponent. So it'll be 2, it'll be 1. So I have 5 minus the bottom one, 3. So 2 to the power of 2, which is equal to 4. That's correct. Now, let's say I give you 2 to the power of 0. So this is the 0 exponential rule. Anything to the power of 0 is, that's right, it's 1. Okay? Let's do another example. Let's do 2 to the negative of 2. So what do we have here? So this one is called a negative, because I have a negative here. So negative exponential rule. What I do with a negative? Remember, I pretend there is a 1 here, and I flip them. So it'll be equal to 1 over 2. Negative will be a positive number. So it'll be 2, which is 1 over 4. That's correct. So let's do another example. In math, remember, in math, the more examples you do, the better you will be and the faster you will be in math. Okay? So if you study 1 hour a day, okay, you actually going to increase your mark by 1%. If you study 1 hour a day. Okay? This is math. It's not a rule, but this is from my experience. Okay? So let's do another example. So we have 5, let's say you have 2, and then you have 2. So how many? So I have 2 squared and then 3. So how many power I have? I have 1 power, 2 power. It's called power of power rule. Why do we do the power of power rule? We'll take the base, which is 2. What I do with exponent, I multiply. So 3 times 2 is 6. That's right. Okay, so let's say I have x, y cube. Okay, so what is this? It's called power of product. That's right, because you have a multiplication and then have a power here. So what I do? I write the two different base in here. Okay, now 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 1, 3. So x cube, y cube. Okay, what about if I have a division? So x over y cube. This is called power of coefficient. Coefficient means division. So we have x, and then I have y. Again, 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 1, 3. Okay? So let's do another example. Let's say you have 3, so that's 8. 3x to the power 4, y negative 2, power of negative 2, divided by 12 x y cubed. Okay, so let's take one by example. So I have 3 and 12, this can simplify. So 12 divided by 3 give you 4, that's right. Now I have 4, so I do this one. So I have 4. Now I have 4, this is division, so take each base by itself. So let's do x. Which exponent has the higher, 4 or 1? The 4. Where is the 4 located? On the top, in the numerator, so it'll be x. Now 4, when we do division, what do we do with exponent? We subtract. So it'll be 4 minus 1 would be 3. Now I have 1, what do we do when I have a negative exponent? What do we do? We flip it, right? So instead of being y negative 2 here, will be down here. So y squared, okay, times y cube, which is equal to x cube over 4. What do you do with the product? We add the exponent. So y 5. Or we can do minus 2 minus 3. Okay, there's another different way. So minus 2 minus 3 give you minus 5. Okay, so it's minus 5 in here. Then we need to flip it. So it'll be my power of 5. Hi guys, so this concludes our presentation today with exponential rules. So if you like the video, please like the video and subscribe. As well, I'm going to try some examples. If you can answer them in the comment section, that would be great. Thank you, and see you for next session. Thank you.